Hi guys, this is Becky with Living in Northeast Tennessee. I'm a realtor here in Northeast Tennessee with Weikert Realtors Saxon Clark. Today I want to talk to you about what happens during presidential election years and how they may impact the housing market. I mean, the last 2 weeks have been nuts here with this current presidential election going on. First, we have the attempted assassination of former President Trump, and now Biden has decided he no longer wants to run for president. So with the 2024 presidential election being just months away, and if you're someone who's thinking about buying or selling a home, things are kind of crazy, and you're probably curious about what effect, if any, elections have on the housing market. It's actually a great question because buying or selling a home is a major decision, and it's natural to wonder how such a major event might impact your plans, especially what's going on right now in today's political world. But historically, presidential elections have only had a small temporary impact on the housing market. Here's the latest on exactly what's happened to home sales, prices, and mortgage rates throughout those time periods. During the month of November, in years when the presidential election takes place, there's typically a slight slowdown in home sales. As Ali Wolf, chief economist at Zonda, explains, usually home sales are unchanged compared to a non-election year, with the exception being November. In an election year, November is slower than normal. This is mostly because some people feel uncertain and hesitant about making big decisions during such a pivotal time. However, it is important to know this slowdown is temporary. Historically, home sales bounce back in December and continue to rise the following year. In fact, data from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or as everyone knows it, HUD, and the National Association of Realtors, or NAR, shows after 9 of the last 11 presidential elections, home sales went up the next year. So let's look at this graph. The graph shows annual home sales going back to 1978. Each year with the presidential election is noted in blue. The year immediately following after each election is green if existing home sales rose that year. The two orange bars represent the only years when home sales decreased after an election. What about home prices? Do they drop during election years? Not typically. As residential appraiser and housing analyst Ryan Lundquist puts it, an election year doesn't alter the price trend that is already happening in the market. Home prices are actually pretty resilient. They generally rise year over year, regardless of elections. The latest data from NAR shows that after 7 of the last 8 presidential elections, home prices increased the following year. This graph, just like the previous graph, shows election years in blue. The only year when prices declined after an election is in orange. That was during the housing market crash, which was far from a typical year. Today's market is different than it was back then. All the green bars represent when prices rose the following year. So, if you're worried about your home losing value because of an election, you can rest easy knowing prices after most presidential elections rose. Mortgage rates are also important because they affect how much your monthly payment will be when you buy a home. Looking at the last 11 presidential years, data from Freddie Mac shows mortgage rates decreased from July to November in 8 of them. Most forecasts expect mortgage rates to ease slightly throughout the remainder of the year. If they're right, this year will follow the trend of declining rates leading up to most previous elections. And if you're looking to buy a home in the coming months, this could be good news, as lower rates mean a lower monthly payment. So what's the big takeaway? While presidential elections do have some impact on the housing market, the effects are usually small and temporary. As Lisa Sturtbot, chief economist at Bright MLS, says, historically, the housing market doesn't tend to look very different in presidential election years compared to other years. For most buyers and sellers, elections don't have a major impact on their plans. Well, it's pretty natural to feel a bit uncertain during an election year, especially this year. History shows the housing market remains strong and resilient. If you have questions, just reach out to me, especially if you're in Northeast Tennessee. I'm here to help you navigate the market, election year or not. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button below and subscribe to our channel. If you're looking to buy or sell in the Tri-Cities and need a realtor, use the link below to schedule a consultation via Zoom. I'm here to help whether you are moving in 3 weeks or 3 months. Thanks for watching.